frenemies. All right, let's bring him on. The one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend.
Sean Paul Reyes.
What's up, brother? Great to have you on, man.
Representing We the People.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we got audio.
I got you.
Oh, perfect. How you guys doing? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
No problem. So I see you doing a lot of work, man. You are everywhere. There is no mountain you won't climb. So I know you have a lot to do with the Robert Brooks case, and I commend you for doing that because he definitely needs justice.
Yeah, that's God's work right there.
You know, and tell us about, what developments are happening with that case and maybe some other stuff you're working on going forward.
Yeah, sure. So I've been covering the Robert Brooks case from the very beginning. I thought the video was absolutely appalling. I think anybody with, a heart would feel the same way. They beat the life out of him. They tortured him. Really, they tortured him, and then they tortured him to death. And there was no accountability. So I decided to cover it and use my platform to expose it and to bring accountability. And I was actually in the courtroom recording the day that all 6 of the correctional officers were arraigned on depraved murder charges. So I've been covering it in and out of the courtroom. I actually went to ask questions of the correctional officer. As Steve knows, I don't mind knocking on somebody's door to ask them some questions. It's not, I think journalism needs to go back to holding people accountable, especially in government. We can't be scared because, everybody wants to, let's make an appointment. Let's put it on the books. But, they don't ever make the appointment. They don't ever get back to you.
They don't stonewall you.
Yeah, there's no transparency. So the way I look at it is like, if you want to stonewall me and you want to deny transparency and accountability, then I'm just going to knock on your door and we're going to ask you questions there. We're going to put a billboard truck and we're going to expose you and we're going to do what we need to do. Other than the Robert Brooks case that I've been working on a lot. I'm suing in federal court the NYPD. They're super corrupt. They hate transparency over there. I'm working on a Berwyn lawsuit, appealing that one. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of different things going on. My own town right now, the town of Brookhaven, is retaliating against me with $75,000 in code violations. 36,000 of those are for a house I don't even own. So it's crazy to me.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's it's kind of par for the course,
Yeah,
it's kind of par for the course.
Right? Yeah.
I was saying just last week that I'm still missing a piece of my ass. Hasn't grown back yet.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what we aim for, is to get all these corrupt officials that swore an oath to, uphold our Constitution and our rights, and then you become public servants and you completely forget about it and you go into selfish greed, lining your pockets and not caring about the people. And thank God we got people like you and all the other auditors across the country. Everybody has different techniques. I found yours to be the most successful because you just come straight level.
And you're very, very articulate.
You never really
all
lose
respect.
your cool. So
very good.
See, when I first started, like, my kind of origin story is that, I used to watch a lot of First Amendment auditors. I'm obviously very big into freedom, and I noticed that they were, a little bit, I respect everybody's free speech. Let me make that clear right off the gate. But I was like, we want to bring over people that are, not really paying attention to this. And, by, screaming and yelling and cursing and everything, I don't think that's a good way to bring the people from the middle over to our side, away from the corruption to accountability and freedom. So I decided to just go out there and record and speak to these government officials. And I've been arrested unlawfully. All charges have been dismissed unlawfully 10 times in the last 4 years since I started auditing the government. And it just goes to show you, and then it was crazy because when I was talking to one of the correctional officers, they said, "Oh, you've been arrested 10 times. It says a lot about you." And I told the officer, I said, it doesn't say a lot about me. It says a lot about our system. It says a lot about our government, that they are unlawfully arresting citizens who are engaging in constitutionally protected activities. When did honoring your oath become something that was secondary? We need to honor our oath. They need to honor their oath. They need to uphold the law, and they need to protect our constitutional rights.
Yeah, 100%. I feel the biggest problem is within law enforcement across the entire country is they lack training. I don't know if it's whether they're getting out
Sean gives training.
No, I know he does. But I'm just saying throughout the country, there needs to be a mandatory training that you need to know like the back of your hand, which
The
is our
Constitution.
Constitution. You know what I mean?
Well,
And-
some cops do know the Constitution. Some cops are
No, but
are constitutionalists. But then you have tyrants.
Yeah, but the constitutionalist cops and the good cops need to take the bad apples and kick them the hell out of the
instead of
the bad apples controlling
covering
the good.
up for them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just put out a video today. Speaking of good cops, betting bad apples. I put out a video today where this elderly woman, she was obviously she was being released from a county jail in Sacramento, California. And as they were releasing her, she was being, I think she had some mental health problems. She was just being kind of annoying, honestly. But the cop, he grabs her, pushes her outside, and then they're trying to say, oh, you assaulted us. She didn't do anything. It's a little old lady. And he goes to throw her out, and he pushes her out violently out the door, and she smacks her head on the pavement. And then he just turns around and laughs. And then all 7 officers that were there that just saw this woman just fly out of the correctional facility, literally, he flung her and hit her head on the pavement, this old lady, and they all just walked away. They all just said, oh, and walked away.
It's
and
a
that's
culture
my
of that.
Right. It is. You're right, Steve. It's culture because my problem is that I know that there are a lot of good law enforcement officers out there. I know there are because they reach out to me. They support me. Even correctional officers. There are a lot of whistleblowers in our government that want to do the right thing, that want to bring up, that want to expose the tyranny and corruption in our government. But there are a lot that that think that they're above the law. They think that the law does not apply to them. And that is something that needs to change. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Absolutely. I remember being at our ex-district attorney Tom Spoda's sentencing and the trial, and because he had been sat in my courtroom when I was going through it, and I went to his trial just so he saw my face. And I remember him, and a lot of the district attorney or federal prosecutors were saying, on recording, you're saying, is he going to toe the line? And that's exactly what we're talking about here, them towing the line. And if it's unethical, they shouldn't be willing to toe the line and protect. There shouldn't be a blue line. And they should understand that their allegiance is to God, and that has to come back.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Definitely does. And they got to start protecting the people because the way it's set up now, it's that law enforcement, it protects the corrupt and powerful, and that needs to change. As you mentioned, Steve, I do law enforcement training. I've done it across the country where, I teach de-escalation. I think that's what sets me apart from other auditors and other activists out there is because I like to think that I'm a critical thinker, logical. I know that this is not going to get solved by calling a cop a pig and and giving them a bird every single time you see them. But there needs to be accountability. You had brought up training. Training is one.